Hey, what's up guys, Jakey here. Today we're going to be checking out the Razer Huntsman V3HE. This is Razer's newest Hall effect gaming keyboard. It comes in two different form factors. You can either get this in a 10 keyless or a mini 65%, which I have here today. The TKL version comes in at $140 USD, whereas the mini version comes in at $120 USD. And I was actually pretty surprised at this price point because the analog optical version of the TKL Huntsman V3 Pro comes in at $220 USD. So yeah, I was a little bit confused as to why the Hall effect version is so much cheaper because these two boards are almost identical. They both have 8000 Hz polling rates, so whether you choose the Hall effect version or the analog optical one, you're getting really low latency. And the build quality and the chassis on both of these boards is exactly the same. The only difference between the Huntsman Hall effect and the Huntsman with the analog optical switches is the switches inside of the board. But one advantage that analog optical has is Razer claims that their analog optical switches are faster than Hall effect switches, but it's really not by much. According to Razer's testing, their analog optical switches come in at 0.48 milliseconds, whereas their Hall effect switches come in at 0.6, which is a difference of 0.12 milliseconds, which is basically nothing. Like, you're not going to notice that in-game at all. Also, their Hall effect switches are slightly less accurate than their analog optical switches. Like, according to this graph, their analog switches are like really precise down to 0.1 millimeters, whereas their Hall effect switches have a 0.2 millimeter variance. But even then, it's like very minute and honestly not something that I personally noticed in-game. So yeah, in the box, you just get your basic documentation, the keyboard itself, a USB-C to USB-A cable, which is braided, and that's pretty much everything you're getting in the box. As for the actual board itself, like I mentioned earlier, it's the exact same build as the Huntsman V3 Pro with the analog switches. You have textured double shot PBT keycaps, as well as an aluminum top case here. And the actuation force on Razer's Hall effect switches compared to their analog optical switches Gen 2 is also the same, coming in at around 40 grams. And the keystroke lifespan on both is also the same at 100 million, which is to be expected from an analog switch because analog switches just inherently will last longer than a traditional mechanical switch just because there's no physical contact point. On the bottom of the board, you have 4 rubber feet, but you also have 2 kickstands as well, which let you choose between 2 different typing angles. You have a 6-degree typing angle and a 9-degree typing angle. And then on the top left of the board is where you're going to find that USB-C port. But the main thing that the Hall effect version does better is actually the overall feel and sound of the switches. Back when I reviewed the Huntsman V3 Pro 8K, I noted that the switches on the 8K version sounded a lot better than the original Huntsman V3 Pro, but they still sounded very hollow and rattly. Like, it definitely was not my favorite sound on a keyboard, and when you compared it to something like a stock Wooting even, it was still pretty far behind. And I think that's just the nature of Razer's analog optical switches, which is fine if you're just a pure gamer and you don't really care about the sound of your keyboard, but for those who did like to listen to the sound of their keyboard, it was a little bit underwhelming. So I will say I was pleasantly surprised at how nice the Hall effect switches sounded compared to the analog optical switches. The switches and stabilizers do come pre-lubed on this board, and here's a quick sound test so that you can actually hear the difference between these two switches yourself. All right, really quick, let's go over the software here. The Huntsman V3HE is compatible with Razer Synapse Web, meaning that you don't have to download any additional software onto your computer, which is great. So you can just click into it here on Razer Synapse Web, and then on the first tab, you can do your standard customization. You can rebind all of these keys, turn on gaming mode, and disable certain hotkeys like your Alt Tab or Windows key if you want to do that. And then you can also choose your wired polling rate here, all the way up to 8,000 Hertz, as well as set your switch dead zone, which I have on medium. On the second tab is going to be your actuation settings, because again, this is an analog keyboard, so you can adjust where your key actually actuates, how sensitive you want each key to be. And so yeah, you can change all of these keys, or you can change specific keys depending on your personal preference. Third tab here is going to be your toggle for snap tap. This is also known as SOCD, and it pretty much just makes strafing in games a lot easier. Optimum Tech made a very good video talking about it and the benefits, but this feature is banned on certain games like CS, so keep that in mind. Fourth tab here is actually a new feature called Snap Flex, which is very interesting. So what this allows you to do is it allows you to set an actuation key, and it allows you to set an action when you release that key. So what you can do is, for example, I can bind G so that when I press my G key, it's just going to be a normal press, but when I release my G key, I can have it hit a different key. So if I set this to O, for example, and then I open up Notepad, if I press my G key now, you can see that instantly it presses O after I let go of G. So obviously right now I'm just spelling go, but you can use this for some pretty unique stuff. For example, in CS2, you can use this to do a jump throw bind. Now you have pretty much a jump throw bind that you can use on your actual keyboard. And I'm sure there's other uses for this as well, depending on how creative you are. But that's actually pretty cool that you can set a key to activate another key on its release. Fifth tab here is rapid trigger, which I'm sure you're all familiar with. As soon as you let go of a key, it will deactivate that key, and you can change the sensitivity on that. I just have every key set to the lowest, which is 0.1 millimeters. Dual-Keypress Priority. This is also a unique feature on the Huntsman V3HE. By default, this is on your movement keys, and this is a lot easier if I show it in game. So let me boot up Valorant real quick. All right, so I have the range booted up here, and when you move forward and you hold A and then you press D, obviously it cancels out that movement, right? And you're just going straight now. It's almost as if I'm just holding down W. That's just how normal keyboards work. But if I turn on Dual-Keypress Priority, now that it's on, let's do the same thing. Let's say I'm going, let's say I'm holding W and A, and then I press D. It keeps holding A for me. So D doesn't cancel it out. And vice versa, if I'm holding W and D and I press A, even if I'm pressing A, it doesn't cancel out my right movement. Obviously, it works if you're going backwards as well. If I'm holding S and A and I press D, it's not going to cancel that movement out. And if I'm holding S and D and I press A, it's not going to cancel that movement out. I don't know if this is actually useful or not in-game. I feel like it's not useful for me because I never really have a moment where I'm like holding W and A and I'm pressing D by accident. So that's pretty much what it does. Not sure if it's useful or not, but there you go. All right, final tab here is just your lighting effects. You can change the brightness as well as some simple effects. If you want to go really in depth with the RGB and like have multiple layers and stuff, you're going to need to download Razer Synapse and Razer Chroma to really customize that. But if you just want basic RGB, this will get the job done. And that's pretty much it for the software. There's also calibration that you can do for the switches as well. You can't actually do that on Razer Synapse Web. You have to download Razer Synapse onto your computer if you wanted to calibrate your switches. But they seemed pretty well calibrated straight from the factory. So unless you're really having issues, I don't think you need to do calibration. But if you do want to do that, you need to download Razer Synapse. Alright guys, so overall, I'm actually a pretty big fan of the Huntsman V3HE, and I actually prefer it over my Huntsman V3 Pro 8K. Mainly just because the Hall effect magnetic switches feel a lot better to type and play on compared to the analog optical switches. Now, according to Razer, obviously, if you want the fastest performance on paper, technically you should be getting the Huntsman V3 Pro 8K with the Razer analog optical switches Gen 2. But like I mentioned earlier in the video, the difference in latency is literally like 0.12 milliseconds, which no regular person is going to notice, and it's really not going to be a benefit in-game either. That and the Huntsman V3HE is just so much cheaper than the Huntsman V3 Pro 8K. And it has better sounding and feeling switches with a lower price point. So yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on the Huntsman V3HE. I actually really like this board. I would actually recommend it over the analog optical switches. I think it's just better in pretty much every aspect other than latency, which again is negligible. So you might as well get the cheaper one that also sounds and feels better. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I hope this helps. If it did, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.